Greetings, everyone. You have your ticket? You don't have one, my friend? No problem. Hit the subscription button below. Come on in. Hey, guys. DFG Gideon's Flight here. Hey, a couple of things I want to clear up, and then I want to share some information on top of me clearing up, something that I think needs to be properly understood, all right? So I'm going to go here first, all right? And this is for anyone who wants to listen, regardless of your race. And I'm going to say it that because it's a statement in regards to racial identification, racial identity, and mindset towards our racial identity, all right? Now, for those of you who may have listened to any of my videos who may think that, I am mad at white people, let me be clear to you. Absolutely not. Not mad at them at all. Been around them most of my adult life, and quite frankly, for the most part, I haven't had what I would consider real true problems, other than just, some of the typical, things, double talking, undermining, backbiting, promising and not delivering, manipulation, cheating, skullduggery, and more. And then you say, okay, see there, now you're putting us down. I'm not putting you down. I'm being honest with you. Because the problem that I have with you is that I'm not mad at you. The problem I have with you is that you wear your feelings on your sleeve like you're little girls. Because you guys can't stand the truth. You follow me? You want to see the world in the rose-colored glasses that you have painted, or your ancestors have painted, and made you feel comfortable in it. And now you're walking in those same rose-colored glasses that they created for you. And now reality is coming into your presence. Because that day of us, as the old saying going, scratching where we don't itch and laughing when we're not tickled, those days are gone. And those days will never, ever return. So your parents may have seen that. Your grandparents probably did see it. But you're not going to see it. Not if you're listening to this video, the day of seeing that type of behavior by copper color, Hebrew Israelites, so-called African American or black people, that day is done, my friend. So it's time to put on your big boy, big girl panties and buckle on, and hunker down, or man up, whichever one you decide to do. But if you're going to man up, then you're going to have to understand that it's going to be fair and balanced, and you're going to have to take it just like you've given it. And as simple as that. So no, I don't have a problem. I don't hate you. I'm not mad at you. But I am not going to be silent, because of your feelings might get hurt. I'm not going to be silent because you don't hear the truth. That's not my problem. That's your problem. But you need to deal with it because we're not going away. You see? And that's what you're saying. Some of you guys say, well, we just ignore them and just, shoot them. Well, where there's one of us, there's thousands of us. And where there's 1,000, there are millions. So it's not going to be that easy. So you might as well deal with us today because you will see us tomorrow. But that being stated, again, I want to be clear. I'm not mad at white people. They are who they are. And I know people who happen to be white who, in my opinion, are very decent people. If I didn't know any better, I think they were good black folk. All right? So that's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying is that for over, I guess now, a generation of dealing with whites, I would tell you I found more of them involved in the behaviors that I stated earlier. And when it comes down to the way they see and treat, people of color, it's downright, despicable. All right? It's despicable. And for those who are not a part of that treatment, they stand on the sideline and look the other way and don't say anything when that treatment is happening. You follow me? I was thinking, and guys, I want you to write this down, especially my Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters. When I was thinking about this a little while ago, I said, I heard somebody saying, it was really Jay-Z that I guess had said it in something. And again, I've told you many times, celebrities are not your leaders. And now you're finding out the hard way, some of you guys who had your head all up Jay-Z's butt and Beyonce butt about pro-black and pro-this. And now you're seeing it was all pro-dollars. They were pro-green. And they damn sure did not give a damn on how that affect or impact you. And now you're getting to see it firsthand, up close and personal. So I hope you're able to deal with that, and I hope you're smart enough and strong enough to move away from those characters. But celebrities are not your leaders. There's no other ethnic group on this planet that goes around calling celebrities their leaders. And it really says a lot about who we are as a people when we do that in terms of, us easily being misled, very childlike in our mentality. Only kids like Barney's. Adults are Barney, you know. I love you, you know, Barney. Adults, if we talking about, no, we need to do some real business, real politics, and we need to get some real changes done. Like, you know, no, you know, reparations, no vote. I'll bring that back up somewhere else down the road. But Jay-Z, you know, like I said a moment ago, classic example, they catch him in a meeting talking about, you know, single black mothers are the reason why, you know, young black men don't respect authority. And some of you women who are all about Jay-Z and all about Beyonce, how did you feel about that? He blamed you for why your sons and your daughters don't respect authority. And I thought about that. I said, well, why would Jay-Z say something like that? You follow me? Mr. Brooklyn, hardcore, slinging, drug selling, willing and dealing, you know what I'm saying? I'm down with the people. I gave some turkeys at Thanksgiving and sent a couple of kids to school on scholarships, you know what I'm saying? See how blackity black I am, but he isn't. But again, you know, he made the comment about, you know, the respecting of authority. And I thought about that. I said, how ironic is that? I said, well, I wonder what happens in the white community. Because I'm sure if you're white and you're listening to me, you're probably saying, yeah, they don't respect authority. They don't. And the parents should teach them to respect authority. And they don't. And here's what I'm going to challenge you with. Do you teach your children that? And this is the part I want you to write down, my friends, my brothers and my sisters. You know, black people are expected to teach their children to respect authority. White people are expected to teach their children to support authority. You get it? You know, black man, you teach your little black buck to respect authority. White man, you teach your little white, you know, tomorrow's leader how to support that authority that we're going to enforce on those black people. And that's what you got. And I had to come to that conclusion. I said, I'm sure, you know, when they start talking, you know, at their dinner tables about how we don't support authority, respect authority, you follow me? They don't tell little John, hey, Johnny or Sally, I want you to respect authority. If somebody tell you to do something, you don't question, you just do it. Or do they tell them when the police come, you know, help them and do whatever you can to make their job as easy as it possibly can be? I wonder which one of those conversations they have at the dinner table. I suspect I know. They're going to support that authority. But they're going to tell you and use puppets like Jay-Z and other buffoons, you know what I'm saying, to tell them, you know, that the problem in our community is that we don't respect authority. Okay? So I just wanted to get that out the way. And while I'm talking about police and authority and racial attitudes, I want to bring up one thing and then I'm going to jump over to something totally different, but a message to you, copper-colored people, from your history book. You know, a good friend of mine, one of my Gideon Fright brothers yesterday was just walking in his community, all right? And just so happens a van, red SUV pulls up to him. And the person in the SUV is a female. I'm on the phone with him so I could hear the conversation. I hear somebody ask him, what kind of dog is that you have? And my friend said, well, why? She said, no, I'm just curious. He said, well, it's a chocolate retriever, Labrador retriever. Oh, okay. What's your name? He said, excuse me? What's your name? He said, I don't think you need to know my name. Then she said, where you live? He said, around here. She said, what's your address? No shit, guys. He's like, why you need to know my address? Then she asked him, she said, well, I'm not trying to be offensive. You know, I just was asking. He said, well, like I told you, I live around here. Well, welcome to the neighborhood. He said, ma'am, I've been living around here for 6 years. If you don't have any other question for me, have a good day. Now, you see, that's the kind of stuff, guys, that, you know, white folks want to tell you, well, that's just being neighborly. How the hell is that being neighborly? You see a black man walking through a community he's been living in for 6 years, and you giving him the third degree, where you live, what's your address, what's your name, how long you been living around here? That's called racial profiling. That's the same kind of shit that you see have gotten many people fired off their damn jobs when they handle customers that way. And, you know, and him and I talked about it since, you know, but it was just the most peculiar and timely situation to hear that. Here it is, a grown man. This man, y'all met Jonathan on my last video. Jonathan's a 30-year-old, married, home-owning, hard-working leader in his community and outside of the community with Gideon's Flight. And he can't walk his dog in his own community without some strange woman coming up to him questioning him about why is he in that community. And you all and I know if he was a white man walking through that same community, because his neighbors are predominantly white, I've been over there, they wouldn't have stopped him and started asking him all those kind of questions. The man been there for 6 damn years. He still got to explain himself. You know, we talk about that all the time, you know, and you guys, some of you guys, if you happen to be white, I don't think the whites are probably listening to me any longer. I'm sure they've unsubscribed and deleted me a long time ago. But if you happen to be, or maybe one of you have a white friend, you need to share this video and tell them about it. But when we start talking about, you know, racial profiling and stereotyping, and every time we run in front of a police car, pass in front of a police car, or see a police car, we all, you know, we end up having to get all tensed up and start holding our breath like we've committed some crime. And you don't have to experience that shit unless you did commit a crime. And you know, again, you think about that, how ridiculous that is and it's a female, just show you how emboldened some of these people can be. You follow me? How emboldened they can be. By just coming up there and confronting a man that's 6'3", you know, John don't mind me, you know, almost 300-pound man, and you over there giving him a 30 degree, you know, and don't know this man from Adam. He should have told. It's gonna piss some of my sisters off, but he should have told him like Yeshua told the woman when she was questioning him about the water at the well. He said, "Woman, where your husband at?" You know what I'm saying? That's what he should have told. Woman, where your husband at? Are you over here talking to me? I don't know you. You got a question for me? Where your husband? Let your husband come out here and address me. Now, I know, again, all right, I'm not trying to make this personal. I'm just simply saying it's offensive. And, you know, you think that you know, someone would know better with all of this stuff that was going on and all of this tension that's sitting out here, you would think that, you know, she would have had enough damn sense to know that she could be offending him. But you know what? That's what white privilege gives you. See, white privilege gives you the audacity to think that you can say anything to anybody at any time. Why? Because you can. Well, more importantly, because you're white. And again, if you don't like what I'm saying, you know, hey, that's not my problem. That's your problem. Because I'm still going to say it. It's not up to you to like it. It's up to you to deal with it, as I said earlier in the video. We're not going anywhere. So, you know, either we can fix this problem that we have that's going on between us and you, or we can sit here and we can continue to you know what I'm saying, to what's the right way to say it? Struggle through it. Where it becomes so uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be hard to coexist. All right? And I will say to you guys again, you know, don't look at, you know, Hebrew Israelites, us, copper colored people, as someone that needs to prove something to you guys. We don't have to meet you guys halfway. We've been meeting you guys 100% of the way. Throughout 400 years plus of indentured servitude and slavery, redlining, Jim Crow, segregation laws. What else? What's the other one? Black codes, etc. So we have done our part. We don't have any more to show. Now it's time for you guys to show. And I know most of you probably are not. Because when someone like me speaks up, you get offended. You don't want to hear a leader. You don't hear a man of color stand up and take a stand. And whenever we speak something that's a simple truth, we're not lying, you get all in your feeling, like I said, like a little girl. And you want to whine and you want to cry and you want to start talking shit. Instead of just stepping back and say, you know what, he's right. Now either you can do something about it or you can sit your ass down and don't do anything about it. But you don't have a right to tell me to be quiet or us to be quiet. And even if you think you got that right, you got it wrong. Okay, some of us been out here standing up for what was right for our people without excluding others, like myself, since the mid-'80s. So don't tell me that, you know what I'm saying, that this has something to do with racism. It got a damn thing to do with racism. It's got to do with a lot of other things, but racism is not one of the things. Okay? But, again, I'm not apologizing to you. I'm just letting you know I ain't mad at you, but I ain't going anywhere. And I'm going to keep on telling you. And if you were really as intelligent and as smart as you profess to be, openly, you know what it looked like, you know, when you take your mask off, you would hear me and hear us. But again, that's your decision to make. Okay, enough of that. Now, my brothers and sisters, again, let's get on back to something else. You know, this whole deal around, you know, black people being your leaders, guys, celebrities, I'm sorry, being your leaders, you got to stop that. You really have to stop that. You follow me? Because a lot of these guys, again, are puppets. These guys are working for a system that has one purpose as it related to us, people of color, and that is to keep us subjugated at the bottom of the food chain. because they're not interested in replacing us at the bottom, and they damn sure not interested in bringing us up to where they sit, you follow me, in terms of wielding and dealing and controlling, the way this government system and, and the way it's I guess it's governmental system here in America, works. They've got it set up, and they've been having it in place since 1776, and they've done nothing but gotten farther and farther entrenched in their position. And one of the things they've always made it clear throughout their history, that if you're black, stay back. Now, this is why I've talked 15 minutes, and now I'm going to have to give the rest of this couple of minutes, if you can bear with me for the rest of it. I got to give it to the Most High, okay? And I got to give it to my people. Let me see if they can see that. See that? That's our history book, all right? Y'all know I have to show you the history book, all right? It's the history book. And this is the book of Hosea, verses chapter 4, just so you know what I'm reading from, verse 6. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. He says, because you have rejected the knowledge, I will also reject you, that you shall be no priest to me. And when he says no priest, I will not, in other words, you cannot petition me. You will be no priest to me. Seeing you have forgotten the Torah, which is your history book. The Torah is your history book. Some call it the Bible. It says, since you have forgotten your history book, of the history book of Elohim, your book might say the Lord. It says, since you have forgotten. So if you guys talking about, I don't want to hear nothing about no Bible, I'm telling you, then you don't want to hear nothing about restitution. You don't want to hear nothing about recovery. I don't even know why you're even praying. Because he's saying right here, until you recognize me through my history book, I am not going to recognize you, and I'm not going to remove your burden. So you're going to have to decide. I've already decided. The book to me is the law. All right? It is the guide. It's my roadmap, my GPS for life. Okay? I use it. And like anybody, like any other GPS, every now and then I malfunction just like a GPS can malfunction. In other words, there are times I'm not on the right track with it. But it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the book. It just means something's wrong with me. But it is my GPS system. Let me continue. So he's saying, when he says no priest, he's saying no prayers. Quit praying. Quit praying is what he's telling you, wasting your time. He says, if you're not going to acknowledge me in the book, you're not going to spend time with me in the book, don't waste your time talking to me, because I can't hear you. I'm not going to hear you. I can hear you, but I'm turning my ears away from you. Then it goes on to say, I also will reject you, that you shall be no priest to me. Seeing you have forgotten the Torah and your Elohim, which means Lord, I said that already, I will also forget your children. Think about that. He's saying, since you have forgotten about him, and you've forgotten about his word, your history book, I might add, he says he's forgotten about your children. So you're wondering why our children are dying, and all the things that are happening seems as though our children are under some type of, biblical curse. It's because of what you just read. You just heard me read. That's why. He's telling you why. I don't know who else you need to believe. If you're not going to believe Yahuwah, the creator of everything that you see, including the giver of the life that you have, who are you going to believe? Please don't tell me yourself. Please don't tell me yourself. Goodness gracious. You're beyond lost if you think you're the judge, and that you have the wisdom and the insight to figure it out. What's your life looking like? What's your neighbor's life? What do your children's life look like? I think that's even a better question you ask yourself. So you're not going to figure this out without the help of the Most High. And he's not only saying, you heard he said, if you continue, if we, the Hebrew Israelites, this is not even for the Gentiles. This is us, the believers. He said, we continue down the path that we're going by rejecting our history book, the Torah, and rejecting him, Elohim. He is going to reject our children. Think about it, guys. Our children, so they're not being blessed. They're not going to prosper. They're not going to have liberation. They're never going to have restoration, guys. Come on. We can help solve this in our communities in regards to getting back on right track. I've told you before, a man of Yahweh, a woman of Yahweh, they're not cowardly. I've given you scripture says that the fearful and the unbelieving, cowards and unbelievers, I'm talking about those who are atheists, they're going straight, they're condemned already. No, we're supposed to be courageous. You follow me? We're supposed to be absolutely convinced on what we believe and taking that stand for it. And then calling on that authority, the power that's put inside of us. As the scripture said, you don't need an army, you just need one. And that one is the Most High. You said what the scripture said, Yahweh in one is a majority. But we're running out here in groups and running out here individualism, and people kicking our behinds up and down the damn streets. They've been doing it for 400 plus years because we refuse to come to the knowledge of the truth. Our ancestors may have been ignorant of this truth. They maybe not have access to this truth. But you have access to it. You have access to it. So why aren't you taking advantage of that access? Why aren't you spending time studying and learning about who you are and the power that's available to you? Why aren't you spending time doing it? You're running into these damn, churches every Sunday and letting these idiots preach all kind of foolishness to you, and you're running out there, getting a little pep talk. You run in and get a pep talk, coming out there realizing you walk back out, you can't even remember what the hell they said because they didn't talk to you. What they did was entertained you. They inspired you. What they should have done is hit you right in the heart. They should have put you in a position where you stopped in your tracks and said, you know what, I got to change. I got to turn around. I've got to find my way back to my base. Just like you talk about these politicians, whatever their base. Wow. F that kind of base. You need to go back to your base. I'm talking about you Hebrew Israelites. And then guess what? If there are any Gentiles who also say, you know what, the Hebrew, the Elohim of the Hebrews or the Israel, he is, the Most High, then it applies to you too. If that's your confession, but you got to mean it with all your heart, all your mind, and all your spirit. You got to mean it to as much as Yahuwah tells you, I want you to get with them and I want you to serve them. You have to be willing to do it. And I don't hear to, well, I ain't serving nobody, but they've been serving you for 400 years plus. They've definitely been serving white Jesus. Oh, he dead now because I burned him up and threw him, back in the hell he came from. So you won't be seeing me showing you white Jesus. You got to go. You can go to any church and find one. You can probably go to most black churches and find one for that matter. So don't tell us about, you can't bow down and serve if Yahweh tells you to serve, the very foundation of what you claim. I'm talking about you so-called Christians. And if you knew your Bible, you would know that what I'm saying is an absolute fact. And just as you have forced, and your ancestors forced enslavement on us and servitude on us, guess what? The day going to come that Yahweh says you're going to be doing the same thing to us as your recompense for it. So you might as well get used to it right now. Do what's right. It ain't going to take nothing from you. It's going to add to you. Because if we're blessed, you're going to be blessed. And again, we're not going anywhere. So, I'm going to bring this video, to a halt. I'm saying more than I intended to say. But I still want to take you back to the earlier statement I made. It's interesting, again, black families, Hebrew Israelite, but I'm using black because I know, that's what most of us, we still can't embrace the fact that we're Israelites. I don't even know what to say about it, but so I'm going to have to use black. But blacks are expected to respect authority. Yet when it comes down to whites, their only expectation they have is to support that same authority that they tell us we have to respect. And we don't have to respect any authority that does not respect us. And we're not going to respect any authority that does not respect us, nor any peoples. So in closing this video, more to come. I want to remind my brothers and sisters, no vote, no reparations, no vote. I was talking to a very, very, very matter. I'm not going to tell you who said it, but I was in the conversation yesterday. Someone that's a family member. And they made a comment, I don't care about Trump and whatever happened with Trump. I don't hear no more about no Trump. And all I know when it's time to vote, I'm going to vote. Which means they were going to vote against Trump. And, I wanted to tell them, I said, well, why are you voting without reparations? Why are you considering going to the voting booth and these people have not agreed to reparations? Do you want to continue in this poverty? What if Yahweh told you to go tell them to give you that stuff? Because that's what he told us when he exited us, when he was taking us out of Egypt. He told us to go get the Egyptians gold and their silver and all of their possessions. And the Egyptians were smart enough, like some of these Europeans want to resist, to give it to us because they were tired of getting beat down and the curses that were falling on them because of their behavior, of their ancestors, I might add too. So some of you guys say I ain't have nothing to do with it. Well, the Egyptians didn't have anything to do with 400 years of enslavement of the Israelites either. But they were taking a hit. When those plagues came, those plagues didn't hit their dead ancestors. Those plagues hit them right in the ass. So don't think you're going to escape because you had nothing to do with it. Personally, directly. You have their bloodline, you're accountable. And so, but this is what I would say, to you Hebrew Israelites, so-called black people, African Americans who are still rocking around and talking about supporting a system that has refused. I mean, you talk to these politicians are giving they give you that nasty, what they got, stink face? Well, however, I don't even know how this shit looks. Giving you the stink face when you talk about reparations. Reparations? I ain't giving no reparations to y'all. I ain't giving y'all no money. Okay. Well, why the hell were we over there giving them our votes? Because we're fearful, and the scripture tells us, Revelation 21:8, the fearful as well as the unbeliever and the adulterers and the abominable, all of them going to go to hell? So you're going to be afraid that Donald Trump might get elected again? That's called fearfulness. That's called, I'm so afraid I'm going to do something that goes totally against my people because I don't want Donald Trump to win again. Why do you give a damn? Donald Trump is not the Most High, even though he claimed to be the chosen one. He isn't the chosen one. The Most High is the Most High. You think the Most High don't know what's going on down here amongst men? You think Donald Trump is going to do anything that's going to harm you, Hebrew Israelite, that the Most High has not signed off on? And if you think yes, it's probably because you're not reading, you're still under the curse, and you're still being impacted because you won't read the Torah. You won't teach your children about the Torah. You won't learn the ways of Elohim. And now you're cursed because you were your parents' children, and now your children are cursed. And now you're putting it off on Donald Trump like some messiah who's a Democrat, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, like one of these, dogs. Because that's what most of them are. They're just there. They'll lie, say anything they got to say to get in office. Right? Back, dumb, greedy dogs is what Ezekiel called them. So I'm not calling them what they weren't. They've been called dogs by men greater than me. So you'd rather put your faith in one of them, like they're going to do something different? Obama should have told you. You should have learned your lesson with Obama. But some of you haven't. But again, that's, at the end of the day, if you want this curse broken, you better turn back to the Most High. And the Most High say at the time of your jubilee, the time of your deliverance, they are going to give you reparations. So you know what? It's time for you to step up and get involved. And one way to get involved is no reparations, no vote. Republican or Democrat. Let them ride it out. Whatever happens between them, it's between them. It's like I was saying, it's your mess, you made it, you deal with it. Their mess, they made it, let them deal with it. We'll be just fine if we stay under the covering of Yahuwah. But that's your decision. That's where I'm going to stay. As old Joshua said, that's in the book of Joshua 24:15. Y'all do whatever y'all want to do. But as far as me and my house, in other words, those that I have influence over and that I can influence, we're going to serve Yahuwah. Love you guys. Brother Jonathan, thank you for standing up. Because Brother Jonathan didn't answer those questions yesterday, by the way. He pretty much, more or less told her, look, woman, have a good day. You follow me? So, kudos to him for catching it, not being, feeling obligated to answer, the Gestapo, in her questioning of this man in his own community he had been living in 6 years. Ridiculous. Love you guys. DFG. Talk to you soon. Bye now.